Hi, this lesson is on rotations. It is how we are going to take a plane figure on a coordinate plane and turn it into different directions, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270, and even 360 degrees around the coordinate plane. Let's get started. A rotation of a plane figure turns the shape in a new direction, again around the origin. If it's a forward rotation, it turns the figure in a clockwise direction, just like the hands of a clock would move. Pause the video and copy this information into your notebook. All right. Well, if it's a backward turn, if it turns it in an opposite direction going backwards, that's a counterclockwise direction, which moves like moving the hands backward against the clock. You can have different kinds of turns. You can have a 90-degree turn, which is simply one turn around the coordinate plane, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, or even 360 degrees. And they all have different number of turns that you can turn the coordinate plane and land in that location. Again, pause the video and copy this into your math notebook as well. All right, I'd like for you to go ahead and turn to your flip book in your notebook and find the area on rotation. Now, as we said, a rotation is a turn, so it's going to turn the shape around in the counterclockwise position around the origin. Now, the ordered pair goes x first, y second, and that's the traditional order that we would find the x and y coordinate, okay? So if we go 90 degrees, if we turn our shape one turn, what would happen to that x and that y? Well, what would happen is that the x and the y would change direction or change the order that they now appear. So the y would come first, the y value would come first, and then the x value would be second. But the y value changes its sign. So if it was negative, it's now positive. If it was positive, it's now negative. So again, the x and the y flip locations, and now it's y first and x second. Well, if it turns 180 degrees, that's two turns. So that would be in the opposite quadrant of where it is now. So the x and the y will stay in the same order, but we change the sign of them. So if they were positive, now they're negative. If they were negative, now they're positive. Again, it will be in the opposite quadrant of the ordered on the coordinate plane of where it is now. And 270 degrees is three turns around the coordinate plane and around the origin. So x and y would be the traditional format. And if we change direction, if we change the direction of it, it doesn't want to move, excuse me. Oh, hold on. Well, if we change the direction, there we go, then y comes first and x goes second. So just like 90 degrees, it would change the order. So y first, x second, but in this case, the x changes the sign, whether it's a positive or a negative. Let's do some practicing. As you can see, I've already placed the triangle LMN on our coordinate plane with the vertices that they have listed. Pause the video and copy this information down for both 9 and 10, the triangles for 9 and 10. Copy those triangles down. All right, well now I'm going to put on the new location. This is the pre-image in green. We're going to put the image in red. What would happen on number 9 if we did a 90-degree counterclockwise turn? So that means we're going to switch the order of y and x. So if I see L and it was 2, 2, I'm going to switch the order. So I would make it 2, 2. But the y is now a negative. It was positive, now it's negative. And M was 6, 2, so now it's going to be -2, 6, but we change the sign of the -2 and make it a +2. And then the n was 5, 3, change the order, so it's 3, 5, but change the sign of the y. Now let's go ahead and place these new locations, the new prime and image of LMN, triangle LMN. So L is -2, 2, so -2 and up 2. So this is where L prime is going to be. M is going to be 2, 6, so 2, 4, 5, 6. This is where M prime is going to be. And N is -3, 5. So -3, and that would be right here. And this is N prime. And then if we drew the lines that connect these triangles, there you go. That would be our prime location, our L prime, N prime, M prime, and that would be our new triangle, the new image after a 90-degree turn around the origin. And here is the origin right there. So if we took this green triangle and we picked it up and we turned it one time backwards, that would be the new location. Go ahead and make sure you have that information in your flip book. And let's go ahead and go over to triangle PQR, and we want to change it so it's 180 degrees. So if it's 180 degrees, that's this location right here. The X and the Y stay the same. We just change the sign of both of those. Okay? So if X and Y stay the same, that means P is still 5, 5, but it was -5, +5. So now it becomes a +5 and a -5. And Q was -1, 6, and we're going to change the sign of both of those. And R was -7, 1. And we're going to change the sign of both of those. So 180 degrees, if it's right here in this quadrant, quadrant 2, is going to be opposite, and opposite 2 would be number 4, which is down here. All right, so P is at +5, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is P prime. Q prime is 1, -6, so it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's Q prime. And R prime is 7 and -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and -1. So this would be R prime, and then we could connect those dots. And it should be, it's not a terrific triangle, I apologize, but it should be basically the opposite, almost like a reflection of what we saw with our pre-image. Okay, very good. Make sure that you've paused the video and have all this information in your flipbook. All right, well, let's look quickly at a few extra examples. Triangle ABC has been listed on your on this coordinate plane already. We want to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so basically we want to take our coordinate plane, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So basically if I take it and I take it one turn and I go backwards just like that. So if I rotate it and I get it backwards just like that, that's it. This is a different way of looking at it, and let's see if we can identify what our X and our Y would be this time. So the new prime, A prime, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 1. Come on, 1. And our B would be -2, 5, -2, and 5. And our C prime would be 0 and 2. So basically what we did was we took it and we said X and Y change order, and now Y goes first and X goes second, and the Y value changes. So if we then, if that's true, if we turn this back, because we turned it one time, and we put these new ordered pairs in, we would see, let me grab our pen one more time. Let's see, -4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is A prime, and B prime is negative 2, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B prime, and 0, 2 was C prime. And if we turned it back, we would see that that was the location when we took our ABC triangle and we turned it 1 degree, 1 turn backwards. Very good. All right, let's look at another example. This time we want to do a counterclockwise of 180 degrees. And what that means is that we're going to find the opposite location of where it is now. And right now, X and Y, we're going to go to the opposite one of still X and Y, but they're both negative. So we're going to be down here if it's in quadrant 1 now. The new location, when we turn it, will be down here in quadrant 3. Okay, so let's get an idea of what that looks like if I wanted to turn the paper and turn it 2 times. That's a 90-degree turn, and a 180 degree is 2 turns. So when we turn the paper, it now looks like it's in quadrant 3, and we can go ahead and write the ordered pair. So we could say that A is at negative 1, negative 4, negative 1, negative 4, and B double prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, negative 2, and C prime is at negative 2, 0. And so if we turned this back, we get an idea of where it was. If we turn this back, oops, I apologize. Let's see, turn it back the other way, turn it back to be 90 degrees. Oh, it goes a little crazy, apologize. All right, and then we fill in those ordered pairs. So we have negative 1, negative 4. Right there we have A, and this time it's double prime because it's the second move from our pre-image location. B is negative 5, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Here is B prime prime. And C then is negative 2, 0. Here's negative 2, 0, which is C double prime. And here is our triangle ABC double prime. Very good. And then finally our third one, which is turning it 270 degrees. And if we turn it 270 degrees, that would be where we are getting it to be where X and Y change places and Y goes first, X goes second, and the X changes. So again, let's look at this. This would be 3 turns. So, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. So it now looks like it's going to be in quadrant 4. So we see where it was in quadrant 1 and where it's going to be in quadrant 4. Actually, this is a very good example for us. So let's go ahead and fill in this information for what we see. A is now going to be 4, negative 1. 4, negative 1. B, triple prime, is going to be 2, negative 5. And C is going to be over 0, but down 2 locations. All right, so if we pulled our information and we went backwards, here we go. We want to go backward 1, 2, 3. Oop. There we go. Go to 3. And we'll try to make it as good as possible with where the original was. It's not quite there, but that's okay. We get the picture of where it was. Okay, and we're going to say 4, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1 is going to be A triple prime, and B is going to be over 2 and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our B triple prime, and C triple prime is going to be 0, negative 2. And there we go. All right, I hope that you found that pretty easy. For your homework tonight, I want you to do numbers 11 and 12 in your flip notebook using this information and bring any questions you have. Hopefully we'll be able to answer them all for you. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.